Hello everybody, it's Girl Got Game and welcome to another Gander episode. Today I am checking out the demo for Heroes Odyssey from Sweet Senin Games. I was reached out to by Zeus himself, yes that's right, almighty Zeus, deigned to email me, a mere mortal, and asked if I would be interested in checking out the demo for Heroes Odyssey. Here is the story for it. After a bolt of lightning sends you to ancient Greece, there's only one thing to do. Face the danger! Meet mighty gods, make important choices, and win the hearts of fearless companions. All this wrapped in mini-games, epic dialogues, and a mystery so dark, even the gods dare not speak of it. So, a little mysterious. I'm a big fan of Greek mythology, so I of course was very interested in this. Let's begin. See what we're getting into. Enter a realm where gods and nightmares conspire and monstrous horrors thirst for mortal blood. Okay. Oh, enter is actually hide. How about click? Okay, clicks work. Let's do click. I'm not used to enter being a hide button. That's a little new. This journey is not for children or the faint of heart. Anxiety and depression may be magnified by the terrors within. I keep pressing enter by accident, sorry. By playing Heroes Odyssey, you confirm you are at least 13 years old and accept the possibility of confronting truly unsettling content and your own grim fate. Okay, we like a nice disclaimer. I confirm. I'm definitely at least 13.
The weather was ugly, as it always was on this day of the year. Heavy rain fell from the dark clouds, which covered even the tiniest scrap of the sky. The headlights of passing cars were reflecting off the wet asphalt.
Sora.
Always the same. The wind-tossed trees had already lost half their leaves, which now leapt and danced above the sidewalks, and the ever-hurrying passers-by clutching their umbrellas. Colorful lightning bolts frequently streaked across the sky, their long branching shapes striking fear. With each thunderclap, the sound grew closer and closer. The sound of fire truck sirens echoed through the streets, stopping curious onlookers who, as they turned to look, tried to guess where an accident had occurred.
Ooh, okay. We're looking down.
It was the first time I had the chance to observe such a gloomy day from above, from the roof of the university I attended. Taking advantage of the break before the last class, I decided to spend it here, hidden from others, yet able to see everyone around me. I watched the other students, some walking home and some rushing towards their cars, with bags and backpacks shielding their heads as if afraid the rain might melt them. I saw groups of friends and couples strolling through the park, their wet hands clasped together between two umbrellas. I never carried an umbrella. I wasn't afraid of the rain. Besides, that way I didn't have to worry about the wind trying to snatch it away from me.
I'm very much the same. I'm not a fan of umbrellas. They just get turned inside out, and then I'm wet anyway, so I'm like, eh.
I simply kept walking towards my destination, and once I got there I waited until my clothes dried up. Not really an inconvenience for me. I'm not made of sugar. At times I was met with curious glances and prying comments, asking if I seriously couldn't afford the luxury of an umbrella. I never paid them any mind. Perhaps 5 years ago I might have been bothered by someone mocking me, but now I couldn't care less. No matter what others said, it was meaningless to me. Nothing was the same after the tragedy that befell me. I never thought I'd have to face the death of someone so close to me. I remember stopping hanging out with my friends and completely neglecting my classes, which caused my grades to plummet. It's a miracle I even managed to get into a college. However, thanks to the help of others, I started working on myself. Some might think I'm a depressed melancholic, but it's weather like this that puts me in such a mood. I was usually a pretty cheerful person, or at least I tried to be for the past 2 years. Not to mention, today marks the anniversary of the tragedy I mentioned.
Okay, I think you're allowed to be a little melancholy on such a day.
The anniversary of death. Someone once told me that rain falls when God cries. I laughed in their face, telling them that God isn't real. But when I realized that every year on the same day, a downpour hits the city, I began to wonder if there wasn't at least a little bit of truth to it.
Every day for years, eh?
Such an unforeseen death of such a good person would surely sadden even God. I walked up to the railing at the edge of the roof, hoping to stay unnoticed by the college staff. I clutched it and looked down at the stairs leading to the main entrance located directly below me. Tear after tear fell down my already wet face. Cold gusts of wind made me start feeling the chill outside.
Interesting. I was just thinking about, I wonder how come we haven't heard, like, who died and what the relationship is, but it's, it'd be redacted.
If you were here, Ariel, I bet you'd tell me a thing or two about how I'm acting right now. You tell me how much of a dumbass I am, standing this close to the barrier. Especially when the ground's so wet and slippery. Even though it's been 5 years since I last saw you, I still knew exactly what you'd say to me right now. I know what you're thinking. Calm down, go back inside and stop with this moody crap. Fuck. Honestly, I just want to know how you're doing. I raised my head to the sky and closed my eyes. I took a deep breath, letting the cold air fill my throat until I felt the chill scratch at my larynx. I exhaled, repeating this a few more times. That was my meditation, my way of reaching out to my memories.
Whoa. Memories.
Aw, they were so happy.
I remembered a scene from many years ago, my first attempt at cooking. It was back in elementary school. Ariel and I went on a trip that included cooking classes. We had to make tamagoyaki, which shouldn't have been a problem for kids our age. However, it proved to be quite a challenge for me. Not only did I burn my omelet, but also salted it so badly that it was impossible to even try. Ariel noticed me struggling, so he invited me to his station. Together, we managed to fry the best tamagoyaki in our group. I also remember the time we went skiing together. Ariel, even though he already knew how to ski, spent his whole day teaching me how to do it. We had an instructor, but he insisted on teaching me himself because he knew what worked best for me. As it turned out, he was right. I caught on quickly, and the very next day we were racing each other down the hill.
Ha ha ha!
But my favorite memory of all was playing heroes and villains. Ariel and I used to go to the nearby playground where we'd put on a real show for the kids from the neighborhood. We'd throw on towels swiped from home wearing them like capes. And then we'd become real anime heroes. We'd grab our toy swords and battle to the death. I always got to be the superhero, not that I ever complained. I wondered, though, why Mike never minded being the villain. I figured he just knew that I didn't want to be one. Our fight scenes must have been really spectacular because all the neighborhood kids would gather at the playground just to watch us. Sadly, bad things always seem to happen to good people. It felt as if some evil being had infected my mind. An alien memory appeared in my mind, one that had no right being there. I'd seen it often before, but I knew it was nothing more than a trick of my mind. 2 bright headlights. That image flashed before my eyes every now and then. I knew it wasn't real, but each time it appeared it felt less and less foreign. Suddenly there was a loud crack. Huh?
Actually, I'm gonna just turn the sound effects up slightly. There we go. Whoops. That's not quite what I wanted to do. There we go.
A bright flash lit up the sky, followed by a deafening boom. I looked ahead and saw a tree in the park across from me go up in flames. But the pouring rain snuffed it out just as quickly. What a strange coincidence. Spending a thunderstorm on the university's open roof probably wasn't the smartest of ideas. I felt my heart race as I remembered once more what day it was today. A day without the person I won the best tamagoyaki contest with. The one I raced down ski slopes with. And the one who was my superhero. The feeling of longing rushed back to me. A sharp pain invaded my chest and a helpless groan escaped my lips. I swallowed the huge lump in my throat. I miss you. I miss you so much, wherever you are. Give me a sign! Can you hear me? Give me a sign if you can! I then felt my hair slowly lifting upwards towards the sky. I couldn't believe it. Was that the sign I was waiting for?
That or you're about to be hit by lightning.
Tears still running down my cheeks, I smiled to myself and thanked aloud. I felt fulfilled. I could finally go back inside. When I turned on my heel, ready to rush towards the door leading to the top floor of the building, a flash blinded me for an instant.
Whoa.
I don't fully remember what happened next, but just a moment later there was a loud crack, loud enough that I could have sworn my ears had started to bleed.
Whoa! Well, that ain't good.
I lost my footing and fell to the ground with a loud thud. Unable to catch my breath, I alternated between trying to open my eyes and making a sound.
Ride the lightning. Experience the shocking beginning of your adventure.
No dice. All that was left for me was to beg for help in my thoughts. Then I heard it once again. The familiar voice calling my name.
Oh. Our box has changed.
Ow! I let out a soft groan. I felt a stinging pain at the back of my head, but I couldn't even muster enough strength to rub it. Nor could I open my eyes, let alone move any of my limbs.
Our game will contain various minigames. The minigame is about to begin. Hit the circle at just the right moment. Okay. With the mouse? I hope. Good luck! At just the right moment. Well, hopefully I wasn't too late. It sped up a little bit towards the end and I wasn't expecting that.
I could hear the murmur of the sea somewhere nearby, along with the sound of waves crashing against the surface of the water.
Although belatedly, I wonder what would have happened if I hadn't clicked it in time. Alright, I didn't click it that time. I wonder if I drown here. Hold on.
Opening my mouth wider, I took a deep breath. I tried calming my nerves, but I couldn't focus on anything. Where am I? I heard an incomprehensible mumble escape my lips. I was trying my best to recall the last thing that had happened to me. I remember standing on the roof of my university. The weather was horrible, and it only got worse after that damn storm. Then a bright flash blinded me, followed by a thunderclap so loud it nearly ruptured my eardrums. I couldn't remember what happened after that. Judging by the surrounding sounds, I'd guess I'm no longer in the city. The suburbs, maybe?
I'm gonna leave it again.
I felt horrible, like someone had smashed my skull with a rock. No sound reached my ears. Just as if I was in some kind of void.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's see what happens. Thunderstruck. Failed the minigame and got left in the dark. I found it. I found the bad ending. Yay.
It felt like something had stung me. Something hard and slightly pointed brushed against my arm. It wasn't exactly painful. I mustered enough energy to slowly raise my left and then right eyelid.
Or maybe not a bad ending, but I'm just like, I've got no idea what's happening. Interesting.
My vision was still blurring. Even though my eyes were playing tricks on me, I could tell I was on a beach. My brain was still sluggish, so it took me a moment to recall that the nearest beach to my city was in... I didn't even know where.
Everything all right?
Hello?
You look pretty worn out. Taking care of a stranger. Oh, just what I wanted.
Well, it's your lucky day.
An unfamiliar male voice reached my ears. For a moment, relief washed over me, knowing I wasn't alone. I let out a quiet groan and closed my eyes, the bright colors too much for me to handle.
Oh, you're alive. What a surprise.
I tried to wake up my overheated brain, asking it where I was and why, though it proved to be harder than expected. I could only remember fragments of what had happened. At that moment, I couldn't tell whether my morning on the rooftop had been a dream, or if I was in one now. Fuck. My head. I started rubbing my temples. My fingers brushed against tiny grains stuck in my hair. Either my dandruff had come back with a vengeance, or I was lying in sand.
Let's hope it's sand.
I wasn't sure which scenario was more likely. As my strength slowly returned, a sudden wave of panic surged through me. Cold sweat trickled down my back and face. I placed my hands at my sides and took a deep breath. Then slowly exhaled. Bless whoever invented meditation.
Are you dead? Hello?
Hello?
Seriously?
I swear, if you've had too much wine or smoked too many herbs, I'm going to strangle you with my bare hands.
The stranger seemed to be slowly getting frustrated with my silence.
Well, this is very pretty. Absolutely gorgeous.
I waited a moment longer before mustering the rest of my strength to rise off the ground. My vision was still playing tricks on me, blurring even more, probably due to how quickly I had gotten up from the ground. Even so, I could still make out that the mysterious man standing before me was practically, if not completely, naked. My vision was still unfocused, though I could clearly tell that his legs were hairy, almost unnaturally so, and that he was wearing a strange pair of shoes, almost looking like hooves.
Yeah, about that.
When I saw his face, my heart skipped a beat.
Let's get a look at you. Alright. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
The man wore a truly lifelike mask with horns and elongated, almost elf-like ears. He looked like a member of some cult. Only after a few moments was I able to regain my sight, so I took another look at him, and froze in disbelief. His hairy legs weren't just excessively hairy, they looked like they belonged to... a goat? His shoes looked like real hooves, and the mask seemed to be his actual face. At that moment, the stranger no longer seemed like a cult member. Instead, he started to resemble the devil himself.
Aw, don't be that way.
I let out a booming, uncontrollable scream, which startled the demon, making it recoil to the side and snarl at me.
Half man, half beast. Meet Callius, your friendly neighborhood satyr man. He's friendly. I like that satyr man. That's very clever.
Who? What? What are you?
For you, I can be whoever you want.
I noticed the glint in his eyes. I bet those eyes have lured more than one person in. It wasn't comforting in the slightest. Not comforting at all! I felt goosebumps slowly appearing on my skin. I was frozen like a statue, only able to stare at him in horror. He was meeting my gaze, looking at me with curiosity. He brushed his dark, wavy hair back with his hand, then grabbed his goatee. Have to admit, in hell, from where he probably came, he must have been a model. Demon!
Okay, now you've gone too far. Do I look like someone who takes pleasure in torturing human souls?
Yes?
Correct!
Huh?
Relax, I'm just messing with you.
For your information, just because something has horns and hooves doesn't mean it's a demon. I wish someone would shout when they see a demon. Ah! A satyr! Because that's exactly what I am. A satyr.
Ugh.
Always the same.
My name is Callius.
Was it all just a dream? Yeah, it must have been a stupid dream. Because how else could you explain the presence of a demonic goat? Things like that only happen on TV. Creatures like that have no place in the real world. Though this was all some elaborate prank, they really went all out with the special effects. At least I hadn't ended up in some psychological horror instead.
Or... careful. We haven't seen enough to judge whether you aren't in some kind of psychological horror.
I glanced around. I saw a multitude of rocks and a vast sea that stretched out, disappearing over the horizon. I then looked up. The sun was shining so brightly, its glare almost blinding me.
Whoops. I right-clicked by accident.
I thought to myself that I'd wake up any moment now. This dream was different from the rest. It was so realistic I could feel the scorching sand beneath my feet, the hot sun on my skin, the breeze and the salty water droplets on my face. Callius, the man standing before me, looked as real as they come. I couldn't stop myself, and I touched his stomach. I was surprised by how real the touch felt, and even the scent of his fur and oils. I looked up, meeting Callius's gaze, his arms crossed and his horned head swaying from side to side. Gulping nervously, I took a step back.
You flatter me. But how about you introduce yourself first?
It's like, thanks for touching my abs, but introductions, maybe?
Huh. Forgive me. I just wanted to make sure this isn't just a dream.
A dream? I assure you, boy, this is no dream.
I'm very sorry.
Alright. No big deal.
What are you even doing here? And where are other human... I bit my tongue before finishing my question. I didn't want to be reprimanded again, so I quickly corrected myself. Citizens.
Easy there.
Calm down. We're not the only ones here. It's a very well-hidden beach. Hardly anyone knows about it. I stumbled across it purely by chance after getting lost on the trail. So you're very lucky that I decided to show up here today.
Lucky? Where even am I?
Where? On a Greek island called Damatheia. That's where.
Huh? A Greek island? Hold on. A goat man? A Greek island? Did I just wake up in a mythological world?
I don't know if you died in the other one, but you may have been isekai'd into a mythological world.
I was starting to regret that my knowledge of myths was limited to what we covered in literature class. At least the major I chose didn't turn out to be such a bad idea. Who would have thought that European literature would come in handy one day? Though, now that I think about it, I think I'd still prefer the psychological horror.
Careful what you wish for.
Oh, whatever. I wonder how Callius would react if I told him he's just a fictional character.
Sure. Let's ask about mythology.
You said a Greek island, like the ones in mythology.
What?
Mythology?
Callius seemed genuinely taken aback by my question, almost as if I'd asked him which modeling agency he worked for. I felt more and more self-conscious with each word I spoke. You know, the collection of myths about Greek gods, demigods, satyrs, and all that. He looked deep in thought. He squinted his eyes, sunshine lighting up his face. Zeus, Aphrodite, Hades,
Enough!
Oh. Is he pouting? What's happening over here? He might be pouting.
I stopped immediately, widening my eyes. Callius seemed furious. Have I done something to anger him once more? I gulped and tried to force out an apology, but it came out so faint that he didn't even seem to hear it. Callius stomped his foot and took a menacing step towards me. I was afraid that my adventure might end prematurely.
You're pushing your luck.
Are you seriously trying to test the limits of my patience? Or are you perhaps hoping to prove to me that my kind is not as smart as it might seem? Checking if I'm foolish enough to believe your every word. If you have something to say to me, then...
No! Excuse me for saying all that. I'd never even dream of belittling you. It's just, where I come from, this world is only a fantasy.
What?
A fantasy? You're still going with this?
No! I'm so sorry.
Where are you even from?
Japan.
Never heard of that village. Sounds exotic.
Excuse me? Did I hear him correctly? I'd understand if someone didn't know where my country was, but mistaking it for a village? That sounded like he was just trying to get under my skin.
It sounds so isolated from the outside world. No wonder it's hard for you to believe in such an advanced civilization as ours.
Seriously? Alright, I've probably earned that one.
I mean, if you're shocked by him, he'd probably be shocked by you, so it kind of makes sense.
Tell me, Callius, what exactly am I doing here?
I should ask you the same thing.
And then there was an awkward silence. I perfectly understood what he was trying to imply, about not right-clicking every 5 seconds. I'd also prefer to go back to my uni's roof and simply head to my Gothic literature classes where we discussed interesting novels. Callius must have noticed how embarrassed his blatant dislike of me had made me, because he eased up a bit and no longer sounded like an asshole.
It looks like the sea has washed you up on the shore.
How strange.
No wonder he was so rude. He probably got so many compliments about his looks that his ego inflated like a balloon.
Okay, so you're just thinking that, like, separate from what he just told you, I'm assuming? Because I was like, wait, what's the connection here?
I had this one friend back in elementary. The compliments from our classmates really messed up her head. One day she flat out told me that I was too average to be her friend anymore.
Nice.
That stung. What was that?
Forget it.
He was just having, like, this whole moment in his head. And he's like, huh?
Unless...
There's one more explanation, though it seems even less likely.
What's that?
Before I arrived at the beach, I saw a single lightning bolt cross the sky. Or, at least I thought I did. I think it struck somewhere around here. Now that I think about it, it might have hit this very spot we're standing on right now.
I wasn't sure if I understood him correctly, but I believe Callius was suggesting that the lightning bolt could have brought me here to this beach. That theory shouldn't have surprised me, all things considered. After all, I was currently shooting the breeze with an ill-mannered half-man, half-goat. I wasn't sure about how much time I've spent on the island, but I was pretty sure I wasn't just washed ashore by the sea. My clothes should have been at least a bit damp, but I didn't feel anything sticking to my body. Not even my briefs. Not to mention that I probably would have drowned before washing up on the shore. I didn't think I'd been lying on the beach for too long either. If I had, the scorching sun surely would have made its mark on me. I didn't have any sunburns, not even reddened skin. No sign of a heat stroke-induced headache either. Callius stood in front of me in silence, probably checking if I'm smart enough to catch his hint about the lightning bolt. Or maybe he didn't want to say it out loud, knowing how outlandish it sounded. I decided to show him that I'm not just some clueless nobody.
Are you saying OMG? Okay.
OMG! That would totally make sense!
Huh?
Sora really did just say OMG unironically. Stop. OMG.
Oh, I forgot you probably don't know what slang is.
Slang?
OMG is a short way of saying, oh my god! It was funny seeing how the tables had turned. Now the satyr was the one who was confused.
You're not making much sense.
I don't understand. Which god are you referring to?
You know what, Callius? Never mind.
Your village speaks a strange dialect.
Lightning bolt, you said?
Mm-hmm.
It was such a bizarre occurrence, I thought I was seeing things at first.
But there's not a single cloud in the sky. Other than that one. How could...
Exactly. If the lightning didn't strike from a cloud, but from an open sky, then that means...
Callius suddenly pressed a finger to his lips and pointed to a nearby bush that was swaying unnaturally. I watched as he assumed a combat stance. He lowered his head, showing off his horns like a moose or ram would, and impatiently stomped his hoof on the sand. He motioned for me to hide behind him. I wasn't sure if he was just playing the hero, or if he genuinely wanted to protect me, but I obeyed him anyway.
You thought I wouldn't notice you? Who are you? Show yourself at once.
Whoa. I watched as Callius tried to act all dangerous and intimidating. He looked downright ridiculous. Even adorable in his own way. Like an angry goat. I was hoping he could at least fight.
Enough!
Get out, now! Show yourself! Or else I'll dive in there myself and give you what for! Oh. Hello. Somebody be backflipping out of there.
All of a sudden, a figure clad in a green robe leapt out of the bush. I could swear it froze in midair for a brief moment, suspended high above us. I barely had time to process, the stranger jumping between me and Callius, separating us. They pulled out 2 razor-sharp daggers, pointing them at us. I instinctively jumped back, almost tripping over myself in the process. I was hoping that whoever this person was wouldn't think I was trying to attack them. Raising my hands above my head in a gesture of surrender, I tried to look the attacker in the eyes. They had a long green hood on their head. I couldn't see their whole face, but from the shape of their small and elegant nose, full lips, and delicate jawline, I could easily tell that they were a woman. Just the sight of her long reddish hair peeking out from under the hood gave away quite a lot.
I like that it's that and not anything else. That gave him even a slight hint as to whether she was a woman. But carry on, Sora.
What is happening? Who are you?
You're pushing your luck.
I advise you, put down your weapons or you'll regret it. Oh. The assassin. An experience her way of saying hello. Lurking in the shadows. Got a little bit of green magic stuff. Hey, that's what we look like. Just realized, wait, the protagonist is on screen. You'll be fine. Don't be so scared.
The woman let out a quiet laugh and leapt high into the air, using only her legs. She spun above me and gracefully landed right behind my back. She seized my wrists and yanked me closer, pressing one dagger to my neck while keeping the other aimed at Callius. I felt 2 medium-sized pillows pressing into my back.
Yes, the pillows that you missed earlier.
The woman pulled me even closer, clearly not wanting to let me go. It was the first time I'd felt a woman's breasts against me, though not quite the way I'd imagined. The blade scraped my neck, snapping me back to reality. My eyes opened in terror. Beads of sweat rolled down my forehead, maybe from the stifling heat, or maybe from the thought of my impending death. It was hard to say at the time. Huh? This has to be a joke, right? I just woke up and someone's already trying to kill me? What in the fuck is going on?
Shut up.
Huh? Don't tell me what to...
Don't forget who's holding the knife here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why are you giving her commands, Sora, you dummy?
Fair point.
Who are you two, and what are you doing here?
We were just getting around to figuring that out ourselves.
How about you tell us your purpose here? How'd you find the way to this hidden beach?
I saw a lightning bolt. Again with that lightning bolt! I followed it and ended up finding you. So the lightning wasn't just a figment of Callius's imagination. Could it really have been what brought me to this world? I guess it would make sense, considering it struck me back then on the roof. The more I learned, the less I liked this dream. I wish I could just wake up already.
Stop this!
Let the boy go. Killing him would be pointless. He doesn't even know where he is. No need to dirty your hands. He won't make it past the first trail he stumbles onto anyway.
Excuse me?!
I'm sure we can work something out.
The woman stayed silent for a moment, as if she were actually considering Callius's words. Just as I was about to lose all hope of getting out of this alive, I suddenly felt her hand press against my back, shoving me forward with all her strength. I flew straight ahead, landing face first into Callius's stomach. He rolled his eyes and grabbed my shoulders, turning me around. So embarrassing. Thank you. Thank you for sparing my life, ma'am.
You said you saw the lightning bolt. I've seen it too, but honestly, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me.
That's why I had to make sure. The woman sheathed her blades and removed her cloak with hood, revealing thick, long hair tied in a bun.
Dang. She's a cutie.
At last, I could look her in the eyes. I froze, noticing a long scar running across one of them. It looked painful. I glanced at Callius, who was also staring at her with intrigue. She must have noticed our curiosity, because her cheeks quickly flushed. She averted her gaze and sighed.
Well, well. A female assassin.
An assassin?! There was something captivating about her appearance. If not for the intimidating scar, her smooth, youthful skin would make her look like a beautiful and seemingly innocent girl. It was chilling to imagine the kind of fight she must have endured to earn a mark like that. The scar didn't look like it was made by a blade, or the hand of a man. Could it be the result of a bout with some wild creature? An animal? Or maybe...
Had a problem with that?
Easy there.
Don't get me wrong, I admire women who aren't scared to fight.
Wait a second. Why did you need to make sure the lightning bolt was real? What's so special about lightning bolts anyway? A bolt from an open sky is not exactly a common sight, even here. Not even here.
It usually indicates the presence of the Father of Gods.
Father of Gods? You mean Zeus?
Watch yourself.
Show some respect.
What?
Don't use his name. It's uncouth.
I'm sorry. They didn't teach about that in school. Too bad there wasn't a class on surviving in a mythological world.
I came here as quickly as I could, but he wasn't here. Instead, I found you two.
I see.
Let's not be ridiculous, though. What would a god like him be doing in a place like this?
That's what captured my interest.
Unless...
Callius gave me an uncertain look, as if trying to suggest that I could be the reason Zeus had chosen to come to this beach. I barely held back my laughter. Why on earth would it be me? Even in this mythical land, I was just an average Joe, nothing more than a face in the crowd.
Huh?
Unless what? The woman looked like she was about to draw her daggers and stab us out of sheer frustration. I glanced at Callius. Something about him felt off.
Unless he just wanted to take a dip.
Huh?
Take a dip? What? Gods have human needs too. If you were one, wouldn't you want to swim like a mortal every now and then?
And how do you know I'm not one? The woman's words were dripping with irony. Callius's odd comment about swimming really stuck with me. At first, I thought he was genuinely talking about me being the reason Zeus came here.
An assassin god? Please, that doesn't fit at all.
The woman mumbled something under her breath, which, judging by her expression, wasn't anything pleasant. Hey! Calm down, both of you! We've just managed to bury the hatchet. I felt a hand clutch my wrist. Callius leaned closer, his lips hovering next to my ear.
You better keep that mouth shut. If I told her Zeus is hurling bolts around this place because of you, I bet she'd cut you down before we could even blink.
I felt a surge of heat rush over me. So, in the end, I wasn't wrong. Callius actually thought that Zeus came to this island. Because of me!
I barely let you walk away with your life intact. I don't remember burying any sorts of hatchets. And you, why do you keep insisting that this beach is so secret? Finding it among the trees is no small feat, you've got to admit that. No idea. I just used the road.
What?
A road? To my secret beach?
Again with this?
Please, just knock it off already. I looked around and spotted a narrow path winding through the forest, leading straight to where we were standing. It must have been hidden behind the massive shrub where the assassin had been hiding. That would explain why I hadn't noticed it earlier.
Oh yeah, I see it now. I usually approach this place from the other side. There's no convenient pathways that... Ugh!
Callius cut off as the ground suddenly started to shake. I adopted a wide stance, bending my knees and throwing my arms out, hoping to steady myself. I saw that technique in a movie once. Callius did the same. Meanwhile, the assassin crouched low, brushing aside the sand, and dove her daggers deep into the moist earth, gripping them tightly. Shit! What now? An earthquake! A sudden flash blinded us, my ears pierced by a horrendous screech. For a second, I thought I'd been struck by lightning again, but when I opened my eyes, everything around me was the same. Everything... except for this save menu that I keep clicking by accident. Except for the presence of another person. They stood there with a mocking smile on their face, arms crossed, looking down at me with an air of superiority.
Could it be the head honcho himself?
I turned to the others and saw them kneeling in the sand, their heads literally buried in it. They looked so ridiculous, I wish I could capture that sight on camera. If only I had my phone with me!
Whoa. Well, I don't blame them for burying their heads in the sand. How come part of your arm is like partially rock or something? What's going on?
I stared straight into the man's eyes. He inquisitively raised his brow and clenched his teeth. His shoulder-length hair was as white as snow, matching his thick eyebrows and bushy beard. His face looked dignified. He wasn't old, but he couldn't have been younger than 40. He was dressed in a long tunic adorned with gold elements, making it feel as if I were face to face with a king. A king. Oh my god! Literally! I immediately dropped to my knees and buried my head in the sand as well. My deduction skills were a bit slower than usual, but it finally clicked that the stranger wasn't just any stranger. He was Zeus himself. I was only hoping he wouldn't smite me where I'm standing. Maybe I should sacrifice some of my dignity and kiss his feet just to be safe.
You flatter me. Keep going.
Keep going. Okay, maybe it's not rock, it's like lightning is in one of his arms. Because it does kind of look like bolts now.
Just a moment. Alright, you can get up now.
A god's gaze. Bow before Zeus, king of the gods.
We all obeyed. I brushed the sand off my knees and looked at the older man. I couldn't believe my eyes. Zeus! In the flesh! Holy fuck! Zeus! Zeus! I wasn't sure if what I was seeing was real, or was it just some elaborate illusion?
What brings you to us, my lord?
Not what, but who? Zeus raised his index finger and pointed it at... me. I widened my eyes, scratching my head in confusion as I tried to make sense of it. What? Me? You're really talking about me? That's right. You're smarter than you look.
Boy, I have a quest for you. A quest for a true hero.
Uh-oh.
A hero? Forgive me, my lord, but I'm no... He raised his hand, silencing me in an instant. Cold sweat washed over me, my legs shaking like jelly.
Silence!
Do not interrupt me when I speak. I do not lower myself to converse with mortals just to be ignored by them. I beg your forgiveness! You were summoned here, boy, to lead an army. By my side, of course.
My brother, Hades.
The meeker, lesser-known one, has rebelled against me in our fair division of domains. And in his defiance, he has declared war on me. A war that will surely... I don't get it. What sort of reason could he possibly have to do that? If I remembered my lectures correctly, Hades liked hanging around in his underworld. Why did he suddenly want to abandon it and declare war on Zeus? Did he just wake up one day and realize he didn't like his share after all? I could only think of one thing that would justify his rebellion.
How dare you!
Ah!
What did I say about interrupting? I'm so sorry! I immediately dropped to my knees and bowed before Zeus. The sand had already managed to get into every single crevice of my body, so at this point I didn't even care anymore. As punishment, you'll stay on your knees until I finish my story.
Listen closely.
Now, back to your question.
His reason was love.
So it was all about Persephone.
Figures.
According to the mythology, Persephone was Hades' wife, whom he kept in the underworld against her will. She was supposed to stay there for eternity at first, but her mother, Demeter, had managed to negotiate her release with the gods. Hades, afraid of losing his beloved, fed her a few pomegranate seeds before she could reach the surface, which bound Persephone to the underworld forever. Luckily, her mother had managed to reach a compromise, and according to the myths, that's how the 4 seasons came to be. Persephone was to spend 3 months with Hades each year, during which the trees shed their leaves and the soil became barren, symbolizing her mother's despair. That represented the second half of autumn and winter. In spring, summer, and the first part of autumn, Persephone could leave the underworld, and as her mother was happy to spend time with her daughter, nature would awaken to life once again. Thankfully, we were discussing this exact myth during one of our last literature classes. Thinking about it, it's hard to blame Hades for revolting against this whole arrangement. If I were in his shoes, only able to see my most beloved for 3 months each year, I'd also go mad and declare war on my brother. Of course, only if I were sure that winning would mean I could see my love every day for the rest of my life. As you can see, not only mortals do foolish things for love.
Continuing.
Easy to say for someone who finds betrayal so effortless.
Dang!
At first, I thought it was just my brother's silly attempt at a joke. A simple need for some innocent rivalry between siblings. But he quickly showed me that the truth was was quite different indeed. He started attacking the villages and taking the lives of mortals, poisoning the waters and bringing a plague into our wondrous land, one that consumes not only man, but all of nature. The trees shed their leaves and dry out to the bone, the grass loses all its color, and the animals that drink from the poisoned rivers and lakes begin mutating. Mutating? Like they do in horror and sci-fi flicks?
How tragic.
Day after day, the Earth's being enveloped in deeper darkness. The villages on the island are gradually falling into ruin, its inhabitants dying in great agony. It seems that Hades is trying to create his own army of the undead, all the while attempting to steal mine from me. Even I can't bear to watch this. And I certainly can't allow him to continue with it.
I won't stand idly by.
My brother took the first step, marching down the path of war. Now it's my turn to take the next step and bring it to an end.
There's just one little problem.
A problem? For the god above all gods? I don't think it was little in the slightest. All I know is that Hades found a powerful warrior, one he imbued with his power, one who's ready to bring him glory. Or die trying.
Please don't let it be our friend who died. Oh no, please.
Disgraceful.
His actions are unpredictable, disgraceful, and ruthless. It is he, wielding my brother's power in his hands, who spreads terror and havoc on the island. He is a formidable foe, but not formidable enough for us to be defeated by him. I know he won't stop until he achieves his objective and brings about one final battle.
That's why I need you, boy.
I lifted my gaze towards him, my knees still planted in the sand. His firm expression made it clear that the word no didn't exist in any dictionary he knew. Why was I the one chosen for this whole mission? The first people I met on the island were a demon satyr and an assassin girl who could jump several meters into the air. So why did Zeus need my help? The help of an ordinary man like me? Not that I'm complaining about the lack of willing warriors, but you. You have that something. Something that intrigues me. And get up already! I've finished my story. Terrified, I followed the order. I brushed the sand off my clothes and gently nodded. Forgive me, my lord.
Me, my wife, my children, and all of the mortals. We all place our hopes in you. So don't you dare disappoint us.
I feel like I could get smited here, but I'm curious.
I glanced at Callias and the woman, then finally at Zeus. They all looked so brave and full of resolve. And then there was me, just an ordinary person with no special talents and an unremarkable appearance. I knew I didn't belong in this world. Worse still, I feared my involvement in the war might cause more harm than good. I shot Zeus an apologetic look, silently pleading for him to understand. I'm afraid I can't.
Well, the music stopped. That's a good sign.
Zeus raised an eyebrow, his glare burning with anger. I felt a strange electric charge building in my body. I wasn't sure if it was from stress or if Zeus had something to do with it. I took a deep breath, but it did nothing to steady me. Something felt off. You should know by now. I don't take no for an answer. So I'll say it one more time.
We're all counting on you.
Yep, here we go.
Forgive me, my lord, but I must refuse. Are you telling me you care nothing for the fate of mortals, let alone the gods? I really...
In that case, my boy, your indifference leaves me no choice!
Zeus pointed a finger at me. At first, I didn't understand what was happening. I saw Callius and the girl leap aside, terror in their eyes. It felt like my heart was about to explode. Stop!
Hero?
Whoa. Whoa, the art kind of changed, and so did our boxy box. Are we in the hospital?
I gasped for air, my eyes snapping open. What just happened? My heart hammered in my chest, my body trembling uncontrollably. Had it all been just a dream? I scanned the dimly lit room. What? What's going on? I was in a hospital room?
I mean, you did get hit by lightning in this world. And a crane may also have fallen on you?
I could hear the steady hum of the machines nearby, punctuated by the rapid beeping of the heart monitor attached to me. My ragged breathing was so loud, I only hoped I was alone in the room. Darkness blanketed the room, broken only by the moonlight spilling in through the window.
Huh?
I froze at the sound of an unfamiliar voice, my mind scrambling to place it. I tried lifting my head, but my body refused to obey.
Easy there. Try not to move.
Hello, Doc?
What happened to me? My mouth opened, but no sound came out.
My name is Dr. Milga. We're currently at the hospital. I'm afraid I have some bad news to share with you.
My heart nearly jumped out of my chest. I felt a sharp pain in my throat, as if I were swallowing 100 needles.
We've observed signs of a shutdown response in you.
Shutdown response? What did that even mean? And why the fuck couldn't I say anything?
University staff found you on the roof. We suspect you were struck by lightning during the storm 2 weeks ago.
Oh, it's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks? But not even a day has passed since...
You've suffered a serious neurological injury, which resulted in the paralysis of the body. That's why you can move. Or speak.
What? What? What the fuck? This must be a joke, right? A fucking joke!
All you can move is your eyes. I'm sorry, kid.
I wanted to prove Dr. Miyoga wrong. I tried raising my hand, but it stayed still. My leg. Again, no response. Fuck! Fuck, fuck, fuck!
I know this is hard for you, but you need to calm down. Your heart is in a very poor condition.
I like that the heart monitor is slowly, like, speeding up as this conversation's going. That's a nice touch.
Hold on. I'll get you something that will help you relax.
I wanted to beg the doctor to stay, but I couldn't say a word. A strange fear gripped me. I didn't want to be left alone in this dark room. Something was watching me. I just knew it. It lurked in the corner, waiting for us to be alone.
What? What are you? And what was that? What was that achievement? Yeah, that heart monitor is going at the right speed for this.
As soon as Dr. Miyoga left the room, I saw a pair of glowing eyes. An empty gaze fixed directly on me, making my chest feel like it was collapsing. I waited for the cardiac monitor to shut off from overworking, when this abomination began crawling towards me. I could hear it. It was getting closer. I felt its presence right beneath me. The doctor still hadn't returned and I was fighting for my life. Something started dripping onto my face from the ceiling. Something viscous, reeking of spoiled meat and rotten eggs. The slimy substance flooded my mouth and I couldn't spit it out. As it made its way straight down my throat, I feared I might choke on my own vomit and die. I tried desperately to call for help, and not even a faint murmur escaped my lips. A drop of the thick liquid splattered against my nose. Curiosity urged me to look up, but fear held me back. No, I'm not looking. I shut my eyes and tried taking a deep breath. Here. Suddenly I felt a violent impact against my chest. Something detached from the ceiling and fell onto me. I couldn't feel its weight, but from the sound it made I knew it was really heavy. It stank unimaginably, like a corpse left in a hot, sealed room for weeks.
What? What is that?
My eyes snapped open and I saw it. The abomination with glowing eyes crushing my body, staring at me up close. I tried to shake it off, but I was fucking paralyzed. The monster opened its mouth and the room filled with a horrendous, deafening noise. A cacophony of screams, howls, and desperate cries for help. As if someone had opened the gates to hell. Kyrie. I didn't know what was worse. What the creature looked like. Or what it was telling me.
What? What is this ending?
It reached out and touched my forehead.
Also, I have a question. Is this our feet? Because we have a very short body. If that's our feet.
Images rushed through my mind in an instant. They weren't memories, more like visions. Visions from the past and the future. I felt a thick liquid gathering in the corners of my eyes. It wasn't tears. Bubbles started to form in my nose. My ears rang, like my eardrums were about to burst, and a metallic bloody taste flooded my mouth. Was this hell? I watched these fleeting visions, not even realizing what they depicted. I only knew that such sights weren't meant for a mortal to see. The past, the future, alternate realities, worlds that shouldn't even exist.
Well, I don't know what any of that means, but we got that achievement.
The creature pressed its finger to my forehead, driving its long, sharp nail into my skull. Real.
Bye! Which bye do I want?
Bye, 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 bye.
Can I correct my mistake? Yes? Oh. It just turned the game off. Amazing. Hold on. You are dead. Wow, when you load back in, it just... Man, this is like Undertale nonsense right here. So you cannot continue. And then if you exit, it exits straight out of... Yeah, that's so Undertale genocide coded. I love that. Alright. I get it. I'm dead. Okay. Oh shit, here we go again. Alright, cool. I think I'm probably gonna leave it there for today, guys. Wow. That was really cool. I love that bad ending, because it's like, whoa. I mean, everything's like very pretty, right? Like the backgrounds, the music, everything's kind of like soothing, bright colors. And then you have like this psychological horror bad ending that I'm like, what? I gotta admit, Bogu, who is working on this game, has also been messaging me in Discord for a little while and told me that there was a psychological horror bad ending, so I went into this recording looking for it. So I'm happy that I actually found it. So that is like right up my jam. I love that. I love everything about that. That was great. Sora's a little like, I like him as a protagonist. He's a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? Not clueless, but he kind of doesn't I don't know, he doesn't see things sometimes, and then it's like, but it's obviously right there. But he gets there eventually, he gets there. He's a little bit clueless, but that's okay. I liked the characters we met. I believe you're able to date the 3 that we met in the demo, so there is that. If you guys would like to check out the demo for yourself, I will have the description in the I will have the links in the description down below for you to check out, as well as a link to Sweet Sun Games Discord, where they share updates very frequently about what they're working on with this, and also their link tree is in the description. So yeah, go and follow them on the socials if you're interested, and check out the demo for yourself. And maybe don't die horribly like I did. Maybe accept the assignment that Zeus gives to you, and you shall live, and enjoy your adventure for a little bit longer than I did. But thanks again to Sweet Sun Games for reaching out to me and asking me to check this out. I had a great time today, and I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, I will see you later.